And we are back, and we just finished watching 2022's See How They Run. It's rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 38 minutes. We saw this on HBO Max. This is directed by Tom George and is written by Mark Chappell. This is the story of a
murder investigation
with Inspector Stoppard, played by Sam Rockwell, and Constable Stalker, played by Saoirse Ronan, who find themselves in a literal whodunit within a whodunit of a theater production.
Yeah, well, it's a theater production of
Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap.
And what does it take place? Like in the 50s?
50s, yeah.
Yeah. And, well, they really wish they were in a Wes Anderson movie, didn't they?
And a lot of those actors are in Wes Anderson movies.
I mean, Adrien Brody is like in every Wes Anderson movie.
Been in. Is Sam? I think Sam's been in.
Yeah, I think he's been in too. I don't know. Maybe they all thought they were there. They showed up and they were like, "Where's Wes?" And they're like, "No, it's me, Tom George." And they're like, "Oh."
Yes, this was, beyond egregiously imitating a Wes Anderson film.
This was wearing its influences on its sleeve. People staring blankly into space directly at the camera.
The tracking shots.
Lots of depth of field.
The framing, the close-ups and the faces.
But it lacked all the charm of
a Wes Anderson film.
From the characters to the story to the sets to everything. I
feel like the money was spent on the accoutrements of this film and probably on some actor salaries, but I think more attention should have been paid to the script. I found myself zoning out repeatedly here.
Yeah. I found it very dull. I would say three-fourths of the movie. Yeah. I found it to be very, very dull. And I got to be honest, I was a little annoyed by the story devices they were using. It was narrated in the beginning by Adrien Brody,
who's murdered.
I don't really. We're gonna spoil this because it's not worth seeing. It's really not worth seeing. Adrien Brody is the guy who gets killed,
and then there's a sort of The Shining-esque scene.
Yeah, what the hell was that? Sam Rockwell gets knocked in the head, and this is also was so bothersome, or just the shame. You got Sam Rockwell in your movie,
who is
he's just a
brilliant actor.
Yeah, he just bleeds charm, just oozes charm, and he was so dull in this movie. It was like the most lifeless performance ever.
It felt like
Saoirse Ronan was
the only person
who was showing some kind of emotion.
Yeah,
she was providing some levity.
Yeah,
you had the goofy, eccentric characters who were kind of not really pushing the envelope there. No. I was impressed by the guy who played Richard Attenborough because he had Richard Attenborough's mannerisms.
Yeah.
I expected him to just pull out a cane with a amber mosquito and just go, "No expense was spared." He really had the mannerisms down. That guy did his homework.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just sort of
lifeless.
Lifeless.
Even Ruth Wilson, who I love.
Yeah,
freaking A. I was you have all these really great actors, and I agree with you. I think, usually Sam Rockwell is just chewing the scenery, but in this it was he had taken a sedative or something.
I know. Was he really drunk? The character was a drunk. Was he drunk too? Because
I don't know. The only performances that I think really shined, I agree with you, Saoirse.
Yeah.
To some extent, Adrien Brody, although he's removed after a while, so he's not in it for very long.
Adrien Brody was playing douchebag Adrien Brody.
Yeah,
he seems to. It's he's the soulful guy or the douchebag, and this was him in full douchebag mode. But even that, it was if you watch any Wes Anderson movie. Even if the character is on screen for a little while, just the way it's filmed and the sort of the stories always have this sort of manic energy, just under the surface to them. the charm of all the characters comes bursting through.
Yeah.
Like you're interested, even in like his like less interesting films, you are interested, and there's just like moments of just pure wacky lunacy. Like somebody will just start running, or and it could be something as simple as that, but you're laughing.
Nothing. It was painful to watch. It was pretty.
It was pretty. I feel like everybody was told to like, all right, you're eccentric, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like it was almost like bring it down.
Yeah.
Bring it down.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I felt like Sam Rockwell had been like at a Thanksgiving dinner and like was tryptophaned out and just was like just sleepwalking through this movie.
The whole film he just had like turkey bloat. Yeah. He was just this whole film. He was just like, I'm just gonna unbuckle my belt and lay on the couch right now.
That's what it felt like, though. He's usually so goddamn dynamic in movies.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't confident of his English accent or something.
The bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's just doing voiceover work.
And
he was still more compelling than he was in here.
This was it was just such a.
It was a snooze fest.
It really was. I mean, and you could see they were
trying.
It was like the pieces were there. You just had to like go a little more, put a little bit more energy into it, up the pacing a bit. Dude, it was like.
And the story. Okay, let's talk about the story because
the story had elements that you could have done something like goofy like that.
Right.
Because it was like, but
it took forever. It meandered so much, and I felt really like.
Like the investigation was just boring as hell.
Right.
When they're talking about their interactions with the murder victim or interactions with each other, they're setting up all these like, there's suspicion here, there's suspicion here.
Right.
And
it doesn't go anywhere.
None of it amounts to much, and Sam Rockwell is just like, it's not really what's happening.
Right. But then all of a sudden it's figured out at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the hell do you know?
It really was just.
And then was the payoff even like gratifying? Usually, like when you see something like, okay, so a better example of the whodunit in recent years is obviously Knives Out, right?
Yes.
Like
Knives Out was excellent. And Knives Out, all the characters very well fleshed out. They were full of emotion.
And they all had their moment to
shine. There was suspicion everywhere.
Like you couldn't even tell
like
until
the thing
end.
that was good about, and the thing that Knives Out did excellent was Knives Out told you who did it. Like after 20 minutes, you knew who.
And you were just like, wait, what?
But you were like, well, where could they go from here? And then they took you on this journey that was amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Whereas this, they left it a mystery the entire time.
Right.
I guess you're supposed to figure it out, even though the clues aren't really there for you to figure it out on your own. It's just sort of like, oh yeah, we figured it out at the end.
Right, because we're so clever.
And none of the characters are exuding any kind of energy. Some of the characters, I'm the effete playwright, and I'm the scummy director, and I'm the producer having an affair with his secretary, and I'm the stuffy wife who really doesn't have anything to do in this freaking movie.
I know.
At the end for no reason.
Yeah, I there's a lot of wasted characters here. I mean, they should have really streamlined figure out what your story is and then tell it, and you don't need all these extras. I mean, it was great to see. You mentioned the wife, which was Claire in Fleabag.
Yeah.
Adore her, but not necessary.
Yeah.
The producer guy who's having the affair with the secretary, completely wasted, unnecessary, right? Even the playwright, not interesting.
The playwright,
get rid of him. The playwright's boyfriend. Useless. Unnecessary, useless. I mean, I think they try to make it seem like he might be a contender for
it's the high-headed Italian.
No, but it was just, I don't know. I mean,
it just
I don't even know what could have made this better. I'm exhausted.
Do more to make the characters interesting, because honestly, if you have this cast of characters and they're all unique looking, they all have like a personality, but if you don't let a personality shine, if none of those characters have any charm whatsoever, why the hell am I watching this?
Right. Why do I even care?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, all right, we're going to set a movie on about your morning commute, and all the characters on your morning commute are in the movie, but they're all as boring as they ever are every day on the morning commute. They're just sitting there reading their newspaper.
Right.
2 hours in, okay, you're at work now. The end.
Yeah.
That's what this movie felt like. I was commuting to work. It just had no interest in anything it did. I mean, was I I was supposed to care about Sam Rockwell, I guess.
I know. And I didn't.
And even Saoirse.
The only person I was going to say the only person who was dynamic in this, I feel like, was Saoirse. And even that was a tough sell because it was like your character isn't really doing anything.
Yeah, she's being shot down. She's doing all the wrong guesses, but like it's for comedy's sake, but it's like it's not even that
funny.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, this was bad. I don't know.
I could see why. I don't think it was ever released in theaters.
I was going to say, was this ever released in theaters? I don't know.
I don't think it ever.
I don't remember seeing commercials for it or it being advertised.
It was not good. This was not a good movie. This was a what I would say is a waste of time, and it's especially.
It says release date September 16th of this year, but I don't remember this at all.
Well, it's easy to understand why.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie, and it's even more painful because you have this good cast.
Yeah. Well, the box office obviously is indicative of this. The box office, the budget on this was $40 million. The gross U.S. Canadian take is $9,586,237. Gross worldwide, 21,777 and 111. So it's barely come over the halfway mark from a $40 million estimated budget.
That doesn't surprise me at all. It is really not a good movie at all.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's pretty.
I really don't understand what the hell they were going for with this. And like the trailer makes it like the trailer extremely leans into this is a Wes Anderson comedy.
Yeah,
even though it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It was just not good.
It was terrible. Do you want to just end this?
Yeah,
and just
this
give
will be
numbers
a quick
and
review.
say goodnight.
I'm gonna give this. I'll probably give this a 3.
I would give it a 4. I think it's not good. It gets
boring. So boring.
It gets credit for providing jobs, I guess, but and it's pretty. It's pretty.
It's pretty.
A super pretty movie.
It is pretty.
Shout out to like the location scouts and the art directors and the costumers and all those people. I guess the background people, they did a really good job. Unfortunately, the script was just terrible. It was just terrible.
So
I mean, this felt like, you know what this felt like? It felt like a student film, an extended student film. Like, I think there was an idea here that was interesting, and there were things in it. Again, like the look of the film, like the cinematography, the editing was good, the sound was good. Like a lot of this technical stuff worked, but
yeah, he had a good crew.
Yeah, but the story is where it really falls apart. And unfortunately, whether it's a $2 million production or a $200 million production, if you don't have a good story, you don't have a good film. And unfortunately, all these wonderful actors are completely wasted here.
Yeah, and I the student film analogy is very good because it's sort of like when you're I don't know if this guy's done anything else. If he has, it's not really showing. But yeah, the whole narration in the beginning, and then dream sequence, and then at the very end, breaking the fourth wall and staring at the camera and like repeating the line from the play. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then like the whole final sequence was telegraphed earlier in a previous flashback. It really felt like this guy was just throwing every cliched movie device at the screen and just seeing what stuck. Or maybe it was like a film by committee where like somebody was like, you know what, throw some of that fourth wall breaking in there.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was almost like
it's a hodgepodge.
It was a hodgepodge, but it also felt like a student giving like homage to other creators because it felt
not really
like
being his own, not really being his own storyteller.
Right.
Yeah.
And it felt like a lot of it was borrowed from different other creatives. And again, it's a pretty movie. There's obviously money spent here, but the story is just beyond weak, and it's just
drags.
It drags, and that really, really hurt this.
Yeah, I did find Agatha Christie funny because she was so bloodthirsty,
crazy. Yeah.
But even that was like. That was like what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, towards the end. Yeah.
She's like trying to poison people and behead people.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. I'm giving you know what? I'm giving it a 3 because it basically like wasted so much potential.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
You had a great cast, you had great production values, but
and
you just wrapped it all around this turd of a story.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't tell it. You just really could. Somebody probably could have made that more that basic story more interesting with better dialogue and just a better sense of pacing and storytelling.
Yeah, this is a script that should have gone.
This was just a colossal disappointment.
Yeah, very, very,
like
very
the trailer made it look fun.
Yeah, it did.
I was looking forward to it just from watching the trailer. Even though I was watching the trailer, you're like, oh, they're really going after Wes Anderson's aesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
If you could ape his style and make something entertaining
and fun, sure.
I'm all
I mean, this is tagged as a comedy. And did you laugh at all? I mean, I think I chuckled here and there, but
not really. I mean, Saoirse said a couple of puns in the beginning.
That was it.
A couple of groaners, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, for disappointing me so greatly, it gets a 3.
Yeah, and I think because again, I agree with you. I'm always disappointed as a lover of words and a lover of stories. It hurts my heart a lot that people don't take the time to really lovingly craft a story. Yeah. I mean, to me, this is just lazy. This was lazy. This was mediocre, amateurish. And it's unfortunate because it had the potential. You have all these wonderful, wonderful actors in this piece. You have this great team because you have great aesthetics. You have great production values on this thing. You've got a really decent budget, $40 million to make a film. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Somebody give me $4 million and I'll make a better movie than this.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm too exhausted to even discuss. I mean, every once in a while, I like to get into it with you and say, like, what could have made this story better? But I'm too exhausted from this experience to even go that route. So let's wrap this up.
Okay.
And ask you once again, if you haven't seen it, go check out Paddington 2. Because that is a baller film. And you won't be disappointed. Everything about that film comes together like kismet.
Yeah. So if you're scrolling through and you stop on the thumbnail,
I think it's on HBO Max as well.
If you stop on the thumbnail for what's this film called again?
See how they run.
See how they run.
Keep
scrolling until you get to Paddington 2.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.
Good